So I just got off the phone with my mother, and how do you describe her? Well, her name isn't just Grandma, it's Grandma Noodle, because my nephew called her Grandma Noodle one time and it stuck. So now everybody calls her Grandma Noodle, including the lifeguards on her beach. She gets it into her head that she's living in the back lot of a Hallmark movie. So she always expects that everything and everyone is just going to have a lovely day and there should be no problem, no drama, no nothing. She doesn't watch the news. She's watching Hallmark all the time during COVID. And probably about 2 months ago, she decided, I am going to provide an act of service. I'm just going to start going and giving people homemade cookies. I'm going to go to the police department and deliver cookies. I'm going to go to the firehouse and deliver cookies. Monday through Friday, she's rolling up into the police station. Hey, just wanted to thank you guys for doing a great job, and here's my cookies. They're like, okay, whatever, crazy lady. So I just got off the phone with her because she decided, hey, everybody during Monday through Friday at the firehouse and the police station gets my cookies, but nobody's getting my cookies on the weekend. So let's remedy that, shall we? Let's just get up early on Saturday and act like we're freaking Mrs. Butterworth, Mrs. Tallhouse. Let's just start cranking out some freaking cookies like I'm the Keebler elf extraordinaire. So she makes all these cookies. So she gets them all in the car. It starts to rain. She's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get wet, but field of service. I got to do this for the guys, gals of first responders. So she goes to the police station and she starts banging on the door. And there's nobody there, so nobody's coming to let her in. So she's like, oh my gosh, there's nobody here. It's the weekend. What if somebody needed help? There's nobody even here. She gets in her car, she starts to drive away. Well, with that, a female cop pulls in and does a loop in the parking lot. My mom decides to give chase to this police officer who's unaware that she's about to be gifted cookies. My mom follows this woman, this officer. She's following this officer. The officer sees my mother following her and thinks, what the heck is up with this lady? She does a quick U-turn. My mother does a quick U-turn to follow her. The lady swipes to the left. Mom pulls up alongside of her and rolls her window down and says, hey, I just came from the police station. Nobody's there. I wanted to give you some cookies. The cop looks at her and says, do you know how dangerous what you're doing is? I don't know you, lady. You're following me. And you're not even giving me any indication of anything friendly. You're not tooting your horn. You're not flashing your lights at me. And you're doing all of this because you want to give me cookies? My mom's like, yeah, but I was flashing my lights. And then she looks down and realizes she was turning on her rear windshield wipers. So the cop says, I'll take your cookies, but I don't know who you are, and I suggest you don't do this anymore. If nobody's at the station, that should be your cue. Don't be chasing down a cop to give them cookies because none of us know who you are. Okay, fair enough. But I just came from the fire station and there was nobody there either. That's because they're out on a call right now. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go and I'm going to pick up my medications from CVS. I'll swing back by there on my way home. And the cop says, okay, well, nice meeting you. Thank you very much. See you later. my mother goes to the firehouse and starts banging on the window at the firehouse. And nobody's coming. So she's standing there banging and banging and banging until finally a man comes out looking a little perplexed and frightened. And he's like, "What's the problem?" And she's like, "Hey, I make cookies every day and during the week and I bring them up here to the guys. And I was just thinking, like, you guys don't get any cookies on the weekend. So I made you some homemade cookies." And the guy looks at her and he's like, "Okay." And she says, "I came up here a while ago, but there was nobody here. We were on a call." "Oh, okay." So he starts to follow her to her car to get the cookies. And as they get closer, he says, "Can I get your name and phone number?" Not realizing that they're probably wanting to know, like, are you crazy? Is there an APB out on you? Like, do you have a record? Like, he's trying to be nice and play it off. Do you have COVID? Like, what the heck? And she decides she's going to be cute. And she looks at him and she goes, "Oh, I'm so sick of men asking me for my name and phone number. I get that all the time." And he looks at her and he's like, "Oh." She goes, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding." So he takes the cookies from her and he's like, "Thank you." And she says, "Great. What is going on with everybody?" She calls me up. She's like, "What is going on? What is going on with everybody? Why are there no longer people working on the weekends? They used to tell you in the town newspaper, like, if you ever have an emergency or problem, go to the police station or go to the firehouse. But I guess you can't have an emergency on the weekend, or you like really have to call the number because you just can't show up there. Like, how is this even happening right now?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, really? Are you kidding me right now? We've got COVID. We've got a presidential election that's gone crazy. We have all of these people who are just trying to make a living. And here you come, little Miss Happy, and like, hey, I made everyone cookies. Everything's gonna be better because I made you some cookies." Think about it, Mom. Would you take cookies from a total stranger? I mean, these people teach people not to take drugs from strangers, not to talk to strangers. I mean, that is their job. And here you come with a tray, like, "Hey, eat this." I can't right now. Yeah, that's my mom.